它主要是有那种大麻船专门来开。
To support community organizations, New York Interfaith,
organizations comprised of Harlem community leaders,
fighting for housing justice and against displacement.
Yo, what's up, brother? Nice to see you.
Columbia, Columbia, you can't hide.
Columbia, Columbia, you can't hide.
You displace and gentrify.
You displace and gentrify.
Columbia, Columbia, you can't hide.
Columbia, Columbia, you can't hide.
You displace and gentrify.
We want justice, you say how.
We want justice, you say how.
What's up, everyone? So I'm a student at Columbia University, and if you've ever heard a word out of the administration's mouth, there's nothing they love to flaunt more than their core curriculum. Columbia says the lessons that the core teaches are supposed to elevate society for all and cultivate community-wide discourse. And yet, when you peel back the curtain and look at Columbia's past and present of segregation and racism, it's all a lie. As the black population in Harlem grew during the Harlem Renaissance in the 1920s, Columbia President Nicholas Bird Butler, whose Butler Library is named after, decided to purchase all the land between 114th and 122nd Streets between Amsterdam and Morningside Drive to prevent black residents from moving into Columbia. In 1947, Columbia joined 12 other institutions, including Barnard, King's College, UTS, KTS, and Riverside Church, to name just a few, who established Morningside Heights Incorporated, in order to keep the area around Columbia white. This coalition, no matter how much they try to distance themselves from their history, still exists today as the Morningside Area Alliance. And once again, over the last 20 years, we've seen Columbia's imperial expansion. In 2003, Columbia announced their plans to build the Manhattanville campus. Columbia and the Empire State Development Corporation, part of the New York State government, agreed the land above 125th Street which people lived in was blighted and underutilized. And they used eminent domain to seize control of this land from owners who did not want to sell to them. In 2008, the Empire State Development Corporation approved the mixed-use development plan, which allows Columbia to gain control of 200,000 square feet per year until 2030. By which point, they will exceed 6.8 million square feet from Harlem or Manhattanville. After pushback from the Harlem community, Columbia promised to negotiate a community benefits agreement, or the CBA. The CBA included promises of $20 million for the Harlem community for affordable housing, $76 million as a benefits fund, and another $20 million to the community for hosting events and local engagement. Columbia also promised 5,000 square feet of space for Harlem artists. So, how do you think that went? It has only given 2% of the money for local engagement in 15 years. It's only paid half of what it promised for affordable housing. And the space for artists has still not been reserved. Columbia receives more money every year from its tax-exempt status as a so-called non-profit, $170 million. Then it gives to Harlem, that it has given to Harlem since the establishment of the CBA. Columbia, as students, we demand that you renegotiate the CBA, pay what you owe Harlem in full, and stop the displacement if you give a shit about the actual core curriculum.
up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
Columbia, you can't hide.
Columbia, you can't hide.
You displace and gentrify.
You displace and gentrify.
Columbia, you can't hide.
Columbia, you can't hide.
You displace and gentrify.
You displace and gentrify.
We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Columbia out of Harlem now.
Columbia, out of Harlem now.
We want justice, you say how?
Columbia, out of Harlem now.
Ho, ho. These land grabs have got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. These land grabs have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. These land grabs have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. These land grabs have got to go. Hey, hey.
No more corporate greed.
No more corporate greed.
Harlem knows what Harlem needs.
Harlem knows what Harlem needs.
No more corporate greed.
No more corporate greed.
Harlem knows what Harlem needs.
Harlem knows what Harlem needs.
From Harlem to Washington.
Heights.
Housing is a human right.
Housing is a human right.
From Harlem to Wash Heights.
From Harlem to Wash Heights.
Housing is a human right.
Armstrong, we're watching you.
Armstrong, we're watching you.
You're destroying Harlem too.
You're destroying Harlem too.
Armstrong, we're watching you.
You're destroying Harlem too.
You're destroying Harlem too.
Columbia, open your eyes.
Columbia, open your eyes.
Harlem is not yours to buy.
Harlem is not yours to buy.
Columbia, open your eyes.
Columbia, open your eyes.
Harlem is not yours to buy.
Harlem is not yours to buy.
Columbia, what do you say?
Columbia, what do you say?
You ignore the CBA.
You ignore the CBA.
Columbia, what do you say?
Columbia, what do you say?
You ignore the CBA.
You ignore the CBA.
Columbia, you can't hide.
Columbia, you can't hide.
You displace and gentrify.
You displace and gentrify.
Columbia, you can't hide.
Columbia, you can't hide.
You displace and gentrify.
You displace and gentrify.
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
we don't get it.
Shut it down!
We don't get it.
Shut it down!
If Harlem doesn't get it.
Shut it down!
If Harlem doesn't get it.
Shut it down!
Shut
it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down!
From Harlem to Wash Heights.
From Harlem to Wash Heights.
Housing is a human right.
Housing is a human right.
Harlem to Wash Heights.
From Harlem to Wash Heights.
Housing is a human right.
Housing is a human right.
Columbia, open your eyes.
Columbia, open your eyes.
Harlem is not yours to buy.
Harlem is not yours to buy.
No more corporate greed.
No more corporate greed.
Harlem knows what Harlem needs.
Harlem knows what Harlem needs.
Columbia, have you no shame.
Columbia, have you no shame.
No more eminent domain.
No more eminent domain.
Columbia, open your eyes.
Columbia, open your eyes.
Harlem is not yours to buy.
Harlem is not yours to buy.
Say it clear and say it loud.
Say it clear and say it loud.
Gentrifying Harlem now.
Gentrifying out of Harlem now.
Harlem to wash heights.
From Harlem to wash heights.
Housing is a human right.
Housing is a human right.
From Harlem to wash heights.
From Harlem to wash heights.
Housing is a human right.
Housing is a human right.
When Harlem is
When Harlem is
under attack.
under attack,
What do we do?
stand up, fight back.
When Harlem is under attack.
When Harlem is under attack,
What do we do?
stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Armstrong, we're watching you.
Armstrong, we're watching you.
You're destroying Harlem too.
You're destroying Harlem too.
Armstrong, we're watching you.
Armstrong, we're watching you.
You're destroying Harlem too.
You're destroying Harlem too.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Displacement no more.
Displacement no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Open up the campus gates.
Open up the campus gates.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Displacement no more.
Displacement no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Open up the campus gates.
Open up the campus gates.
No more corporate greed.
No more corporate greed.
Harlem knows what Harlem needs.
Harlem knows what Harlem needs.
No more corporate greed.
No more corporate greed.
Harlem knows what Harlem needs.
Harlem knows what Harlem needs.
Columbia, open your eyes.
Columbia, open your eyes.
Harlem is not yours to buy.
Harlem is not yours to buy.
Columbia, open your eyes.
Columbia, open your eyes.
Harlem is not yours to buy.
Harlem is not yours to buy.
Columbia, what do you say?
Columbia, what do you say?
You ignore the CBA.
Columbia, what do you say?
Columbia, what do you say?
You ignore the CBA.
Columbia, you can't hide.
Columbia, you can't hide.
You displace and gentrify.
Columbia, what do you say?
You ignore the CBA.
You ignore the CBA.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Displacement no more.
Displacement no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8. Open up the campus gates.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if Harlem doesn't get it,
Shut it down.
if Wash Heights doesn't get it,
Shut it down. 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 Shut it down.
Mike Jack!
Like that?
Mike Jack!
Like that?
Good afternoon, y'all. I'm also a student at Columbia University. I'm here to talk about our obligation as Columbia students to stand against the Ivy imperialism practiced by Columbia University. In a teaching led by a community elder from the Bronx, she said that as people living, studying, and working in New York City, we have the opportunity and the obligation not just to think, but to act locally and globally. As organizers committed to dismantling colonization, we must also turn our attention towards how colonial narratives are upheld through gentrification in New York City, and especially by Columbia University. From Harlem to Palestine, displacement and dispossession stem from the colonial mindset of those in power, which necessitates the replacement of communities, and the displacers seek to replace a land in their own image for their own profit-driven ends. Columbia never fails to market itself on the basis of racial diversity or flaunt its proximity to Harlem's cultural richness, even as it hangs the specter of eminent domain over its residents. A practice that displaces thousands of families, endangers the culture of neighborhoods, and depletes affordability. In the 14 years following the approval of Columbia's most recent expansion program, Community District 9 lost nearly 6,000 rent-regulated units, more than all of Columbia's undergraduate housing combined. All this while the dollar amount Columbia has committed to Harlem over the next 36 years is equal to the amount it saves in taxes in just one. During a dedication ceremony to the Manhattanville campus in 2016, then President Lee Bollinger said it was, quote, the best thing that could happen to Upper Manhattan. As we just heard from Defend Harlem and from others, the historical record shows otherwise. Columbia continues to officially push a narrative of political transparency and mutual benefits, but President Bollinger also said that Columbia is trying to do things that would help the world more broadly. The community is not everything. But mine, as I'm sure everyone here would say, the community is everything. Given this dismissive and elitist attitude towards community voices, years of harassment and aggressive land takeover, it is clear that the primary beneficiaries of this project are those with a Columbia ID. As it stands, Columbia's promises of community investment and collaboration are worth less than the paper they're printed on. But to treat Columbia's acts of ivory imperialism as some mysterious or inevitable process is to accept its consequences. For these reasons and so many more, we as students must uplift, Defend Harlem's demand to stop the displacement of community members and advance housing justice. We must uplift the demand for transparency by making Columbia's real estate portfolio public. We must uplift the demand for community control of local development through the Community Benefits Agreement. And we must uplift the demand for real, substantive representation of the Harlem, Inwood, and Washington Heights communities in our university decision-making. In conclusion, we must resist land grab and corporate greed wherever and whenever it rears its ugly head. Malcolm X once said that if you want something, you had better make some noise. So let's make noise today, let's make noise tomorrow, and let's make noise every day until we achieve true spatial justice for the uptown community.
When Harlem is under attack,
What do we do?
stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Columbia, you can't hide.
Columbia, you can't hide! You displace and gentrify! 1, 2, 3, 4! Displacement no more! 5, 6, 7, 8. Open up the campus